The decades-old sludge site on South Street in Fort Myers was supposed to become a park. Now, the neighborhood's long-awaited promise could be in jeopardy. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm Amanda Hall.
And I'm Lois Tomey in for Russ McCaskey. Even though the sludge is gone, the arsenic and the other unhealthy minerals may be back. Wink News consumer investigator Andriana Shepard digs for answers on where the harmful minerals are coming from now.
The gated lot across the street from Jordan Brown's home in Dunbar hasn't changed much in his life. He used to play in it as a kid, but as an adult, he learned his childhood playground was a lime sludge dump site.
We used to play in the woods, but we didn't know we were playing on toxic. Now we know now.
While arsenic naturally occurs in the environment, groundwater samples in 2017 showed arsenic levels in excess of residential standards. The city of Fort Myers had the lime sludge cleaned up in 2018 and early 2019, then promised the community City View Park in its place along South Street and Henderson Avenue.
They got to talk about it. They put a park manage. Make neighborhood better.
Instead, for nearly 5 years, the lot has become overgrown. Back in February, the director of Parks and Rec told me a design firm would present plans, designs, and renderings to City Council in April. But now the Florida Department of Environmental Protection wants to know the lot is safe before the city moves forward.
Clean all the toxic though, that's what I care about.
Wink News obtained multiple emails and documents between the FDEP and the city of Fort Myers. They show the city stopped monitoring and testing the groundwater at the site after the lime sludge was removed. In fact, some of the monitoring wells were destroyed. FDEP said in emails the city needed to build new wells, continue testing, and send them the results. So the city rehired the same groundwater monitoring company, GFA International, that it used in the past to get back to testing. This 60-page report details all the findings from its sampling and testing back in December. FGCU's hydrogeologist Dr. Rachel Rotz went over this report with me. She explained the numbers highlighted in yellow are concerning.
Might be concentrations that are either exceeding the primary drinking water standard, the secondary drinking water standard, or the groundwater cleanup target level.
Many of the wells tested had high concentration levels of one or more contaminants, like arsenic, iron, and uranium. Monitoring well 10 is right where I'm standing. It's technically not on the old Dunbar sludge site because it's across the street. But the groundwater monitoring report said this well tested high for arsenic. Yet, it doesn't think the arsenic came from the sludge site.
In some ways, it sort of takes the lime residual off the hook for being the source for the arsenic, but they are very clearly stating here that there's still arsenic very close to the site and that there's still a high level of other contaminants on the site and that the groundwater is still very poor quality at the site.
The GFA report says digging up and removing the lime sludge created a depression that changed the direction the groundwater flowed, and they speculate it's bringing in contaminants from other sites in the area, including a nearby landfill.
There's potentially one or more sources of arsenic and other contaminants that are causing the groundwater to be of poor quality in this entire area, in this entire neighborhood.
And while people in the neighborhood like Jordan Brown aren't using the shallow groundwater as drinking water, Dr. Rotz believes everyone has the right to know what's in it, especially if you have a well on your property to water plants and garden.
Arsenic can be absorbed into the skin when it's wet. If you're eating foods that easily uptake arsenic, you could be eating arsenic and ingesting it into your body. Our surface waters and our groundwaters are very closely connected and they mix very easily, and so if we have contaminated shallow groundwater, there's a high possibility that that groundwater could flow out into the canals in our neighborhoods and then ultimately out into the Caloosahatchee River and out into the bay.
I called Mayor Kevin Anderson and the councilman for Dunbar, Johnny Streets, but haven't heard back. The city is supposed to send the FDEP more samples next month, and council members are expected to talk about the park at Monday's meeting. I will also be there and bring you any new details. Back to you.